everybody. It's Wednesday afternoon at 2:00. Is everybody here? Tim's out working with a customer, so I'm going to go live, and then he'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes. So we'll get him in here too. So I'm just trying to find my computer. Just a second here. I'm trying to get my my other stream up here so I can see the questions and stuff. There we go. On this side. So how's everybody doing? It's a nice day. We finally got a little bit warmer than 20 degrees, and it's not windy. So it's kind of nice. Hi, everybody. So today we just wanted to have some fun today, and I want to show you some of our favorite things. So all of these things that we're going to show you are up on our website, shieldsewingcenter.com. And you can purchase any of these there. You can come into the stores to purchase them. But these are just some of my favorite things. And I wanted to show you these. And I also wanted to tell you why they're my favorite things and why you would want to use them. So we're going to have some fun today. And I'm just going to show you some things and show you why you might want them and why you would use them, how to use them, that type of thing. So Tim will come back here in a little bit. I'll have him talk in a little bit. Hi, Judy. I'll have him talk here in a little bit, but we'll kind of get started and talk about some of this stuff, and then I'll have Tim come and talk to you and see if there's anything he wants to say. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera. Well, let's do a couple of these small things first, and I'll hold them up. It's easier for me just to hold them up, I think, for you. Hi, Barb. Well, he's coming. Maybe he's coming. Are you going to come back, Tim? Okay. He's going to come back and talk to you now. So we got people coming in. So that'll give everybody a little chance to get in here. So there's Tim. You can come over and sit down. I got you a chair.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Wednesday Live. Hey, we finally got sun. I think it's the first Wednesday Shields Live that we've got the sun out. So I appreciate you joining us here, but I hope you at least have a window that you're near that you can enjoy some of the vitamin D there. But as always, thanks for coming. Appreciate you liking, sharing, commenting. Today it should be fun. Jan kind of picked some of her favorite things as well as a couple of mine. She kind of asked me which one I like. I like the roundabout, which she'll show you here shortly. But yeah, it should be a fun day. Ask questions. I think most of these are on our website if you decide you do want to try it or buy it. As well as in the store, but just trying something a little different instead of a machine. But again, thanks for joining us. I'll turn it over and I'll pop back in at the end and see you. So
thanks,
catch you later.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, it's Murphy's Law. The second you get ready to do something like this, then somebody walks in, or the phone rings or whatever. So she was interested in embroidery machines. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple small things first. So and then I can hold them up. And then what I'll do is I'm going to turn the camera down. So there's some things here on my table that'd be easier for you to see on the table. So I'm just going to explain to you, my favorite things and then why I would tell you to use them. Okay. So here's let's do some of these little things here first. So one of my favorite things, and I know this is going to sound very funny. I have this thing about pins. And I like really good pins. And I use a lot of pins because I sew a lot. And these are called magic pins, and they're extra fine. So they're very fine and soft pins. So if you happen to hit one, you won't damage your machine because they're so soft. The other thing I love about these pins is you can see here, I don't know if I get it close enough, can you see the little gripper? Okay, so the little gripper is really long and it's easier to get a hold of them. And they're also very sharp. So that's my favorite thing about these is that I hate pins that are dull because, you're trying to put them in and they just won't go in. They're just it's like a log trying to go into the fabric. These are super sharp pins. So these are magic pins. Hi, everybody. These are my favorite pins, magic pins. And these are called extra fine patchwork pins. So I just happen to like these because they are not super long. You can get some of these longer, but I like the kind of medium length pins and they're super sharp. So if you're having trouble with your pins not going into your fabric, these are the ones you want. I think they're $18.99 for 100 pins. So they're pretty cool. So that is one of my favorite things, magic pins. These are all up on the website. So if you have more questions, make sure you type the question. Oh, and one of my very favorite things is I do a lot of like little pillows and little things that you're turning in right side out and stuff. And you want perfect little corners, on your pillow tops and stuff like that. Your favorite too. So this is one of my favorite things. This is the Floriani precision turning tool. And I love this because then when you go up into your corner, you take your, I've got some fabric here, but you go up into your corner and it's got a little ball point on the end. That is not, it's not sharp. It's just rounded and smooth. And then you can get up into the corner and you won't go through your corners. Okay. So I've showed everybody Grandma's little trick on my classes lots of times where I turn the corners and I don't trim them, but this is how I then perfect my corners and make them perfectly square on the tip. So this is the precision turning tool. And it is from Floriani, and these are $15.99. So this is an awesome thing. Turning tool is so helpful. Works. Yes, it does. I mean, this is like, and I use it for all kinds of stuff. I mean, like I use it for stuffing. Like I'll turn it around and I'll use the other end for stuffing when I'm trying to get things down into a pillow or something. I use this all the time. And I think I have like 3 of them. I have one for my bag I carry with me, one here and one at home. So I have a whole bunch of these. Okay. So these are on the website, the Floriani precision turning tool. Okay. So we're just trying to, I know, don't you just love that turning tool? I know it's silly how some of these things that you don't think about, but they are fun, aren't they? Okay. And then the other thing, this thing, I've got a whole table full of stuff, cool stuff. So, this is something that I just found not very long ago. I'm always needing to mark things. And I like those chalk pencils because it's easier to get it off of your, whatever you're removing it from, like your quilt or your table toppers or whatever. And I found these not too terrible long ago. These are by Soline. And it is a pen. It's called Soline Trio Colors. And it's a pen that has 3 different colors of chalk in it. So this is mine, so I opened it up so you can see it. So what you do is right here in the middle of it, you can tell it you want it to be white. And it'll pop out the white tip. Okay. And then the next one, if you want it to be pink, it'll pop out the pink tip. And then there's blue too. So there's the blue tip. So you just turn it. And it's just so cool. And then if you need to make your chalk come out, you just squeeze it in the middle. Okay. You can see my chalk coming out at the end. And then they have, so I just thought that was cool because I use several colors. Can you refill the pen also? You can. Here's the refills. So they have a refill that has all 3 colors in it. So you don't have to buy 3 separate refills. There's one refill that has 3 colors in it. So this is the pen in the little package. And these are up on the website. It's called the Soline Trio Colors. Okay. And then this is $17.99. And then the little refills are up there too. And those are $6.50 and you get 3 refills of each color. So it's nice because all 3 colors are in the same pack. Okay. So I just found this and I like this because I marked quite a few things and you never have the right color. So I had all these colors of pens, I had like 3 or 4 or 5 different colors of pens. And this way I only need one because it's got 3 different colors. And those 3 colors most of the time will work on the color of fabric you're using because there's white, pink, and blue. So I thought that was a pretty awesome little tool that I found. So I like that. Okay. So yes, you can refill it. All right. So that's another one of my little things that I like. Let's see. I got a couple of other little things here I'll show you. Oh, all right. So I've been using these for years. You know that I do lots of applique. And applique scissors, traditionally, a lot of applique scissors have like a little duck bill on the back, like the little bill that goes over and then it's got a straight front on the scissor. I have a really hard time with those because I can't get that close. So I found these scissors years ago. I have had these scissors, I don't know, 15 years maybe. And these are Ginger 6-inch double curved embroidery scissors. So the handle's curved so you can get down into the hoop with it. And then the tips, as you can see, are very thin, so you can get real close to your embroidery pieces. Now, I know a lot of you probably have these already, but I have some new people that may have never seen this type of scissor. And these work really, really well. And I like to be able to trim real close to my appliques. And I like the fact that these are curved because I can get down into the hoops. Even like I use my PR quite a bit. And, the hoops are thicker for that. So these even go down into there and you can get real close. So these are my Ginger 6-inch double curved embroidery scissors. And this is what the package looks like. These are up on the website. The pack on the website, the picture might be the older pack. They just changed the pack a couple months ago. So these are like $40.99. They're expensive scissors. I'm not going to lie, but you take good care of your scissors and they last for these are old. I bet I've had these scissors for 10 years. So I'm just replacing them. They finally need to be replaced. I'm just replacing these. These are the ones I had here. So, but aren't these awesome? And you can really get good. It's very easy for trimming your appliques. Okay, so that's another one of my favorite things. Let's see. What is next? Let's do a couple more little things that I really like. This is one of my favorite things. I have a thing about spray adhesives. I don't like spray adhesives very well. And so I discovered that they make these very good fabric glue pens in different shapes and sizes. And so I don't want to clog up my needle. I don't want to get a bunch of sticky stuff into my machine. So I'm very careful to use only certain types that are made for fabric. Okay. And you can sew through these. It says, on the package, you can sew through it. So this is one of my favorite ones. It's a Sew Line fabric glue pen. Some of you may have seen these before. Comes with one refill and there's one in the glue pen. Okay. And I've got mine here. Mine's a little older. The tube's a little bit different color, but you open them up and then you can turn the top and then you can get more glue. Now mine's about empty. That's why there's no glue coming out. Okay. But I love these because this one, the tip is smaller so that if you're doing small, more intricate items, then you don't get glue all over everything. So I really like these because they are smaller on the tip. I still use another one also. And they also have refills. So you can just buy the little refills. You get a couple in a pack. I think these might be, there's 3 colors of glue. This one was blue. I think these might be pink. I think these are the pink ones. Can't see. I think these are the pink ones. And they have yellow, I think, too. So it doesn't matter. They're all the same, but they dry clear. But the pens are like $7.95. And the little glue sticks, the refills, are $3.95. And these are all up on the website. So I use these a lot in the classes. So if you've been taking some of the classes, you may have seen me use these. So these are really some of my very favorite things. So that's they changed the, I don't know if you can see, they changed the tube of it. It's white now. And mine was pink, more pink and hot pink. So I've got an older one. All right, let's see here. Oh, and then the other glue stick that I use a lot. This is the one I started. Hi, Lynn. This is the one that I started using years ago, and this works very well, is the Dritz fabric glue stick. These are a little bigger on the end. They're sort of like like an Elmer's glue stick. So they're a little bit bigger on the end. I know these are awesome, aren't they? But if you're doing something smaller, that's why I like this one, because whoops, second, I just keep dropping it. You can see the end is quite a lot bigger. Sorry, I got a bunch of hair on the end of my hand now. I can't get rid of it. There we go. you can see the end's quite a little bit bigger than this one. So when you're doing bigger stuff, this works really well. So I use this quite a lot in the classes also. These are $4.50. Okay. The fabric glue sticks. So I always keep those in the store and on the website. So like I said, everything I've shown you so far is on shieldsewingcenter.com. Do the glue sticks dry out? They do. That's why I try to leave them in the package until I'm ready to use them, Nancy, and make sure that when you close the lids that you completely get it closed. They last quite a long time because I've got some that sit around quite a while. And then the little glue sticks for these. Glue rather than seam, yes. And these little ones like this, the glue sticks come in a little plastic package like this, so it keeps them pretty nicely. You know, they don't get dried out. Okay. All right. So let's see. Any questions on those things so far? Does everybody understand why you might want to use those? Has anybody ever used them? Had a few people say they liked them. Have you used them before? But I have to say, of this little grouping, one of my favorite things is my Floriani precision turning tool. I just use that all the time. And I love this marking pencil because it's also, did you notice that it's a bigger pencil? It's larger and it's easy to hang on to. So I do really like it. And I like the fact that I don't have to grab like 3 different colors of pencil to mark something that, you know, you sometimes when you're marking a quilt or tabletop, or, you know, part of it's dark, part of it's light, and then you're like, what do you use? So the strips were okay. Yeah, no kidding. And I used this. What introduced me to these glue sticks was doing a little bit of paper piecing, because I'm not really very good at it, but I like Judy Niemeyer paper piecing, and these work really well for that, to help with the attachment of pieces. So I love this little one because then it's only about 1/4 of an inch wide. So it helps to keep the glue out of the middle of your seams and stuff. So, okay. So, let's see, I think I'm going to switch the camera over here for a minute and show you a couple of these bigger items that are laying on the table here. Let's see here. I got to get set. Just a second. Let me switch the camera. And whoops, and the microphone, hopefully. All right, can you still hear me okay? All right. So I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite things and talk about some stuff that's coming up. So the first favorite thing is on top, and some of you may already have some of these. And the first thing that's laying right on top here is my, I'm going to pull this camera back just a little bit. There we go. Okay. This is one of my dime snap hoops. And I do quite a lot of quilting, and I love dime snap hoops. And you can really quilt easily with them because you can move the quilt around without removing the hoop from the machine. So what I do with it, I don't have a machine up here, but I can show you how I do this. This little thing here is to keep it from getting so tight that you can't get it apart. Okay. This is just a 5x7. This is one of my favorite sizes, though. I use this one quite a bit, and I'll show you another one too. But so when I'm quilting in my machine, I leave this hoop. This is the base, you know, that slides into your machine, and I leave this in the machine. And the only thing that I do when I want to rehoop, I've got a little sandwich here. So here's my little quilt sandwich. We'll just lay it in there, and let's say this is where we're going to hoop it. Okay. All I have to do is to move the top part of the hoop. Okay. And I'm just going to drop it down. And then you find the corners. Okay. And line everything up on the corners. And often the way I do that, let me move this over just a little bit. This works really well for me. I just lay it down on the table and I press down here and I tip it over on the end and I press down here. If I've got it out of the hoop or out of the machine. If I don't have it out of the machine, I can feel the edges. You want to make sure that the top of your hoop is all lined up all the way around. You can feel it. Okay. When I'm ready to do the next hooping, I just pull off this part. I move my quilt to the next position. So we'll just pretend. So this is in the machine. I just leave this in. I just move this part of the hoop to the next position and I drop it down and line it up. So see, I'm a little off and I can feel it on the edges. And this works really well, and you don't have to remove that base part from the machine. Okay, so this is the 5x7 snap hoop. I think 5x7 is one of my favorites just because I do use that one a lot. The other one that I use a lot when I'm quilting is the 8x12. So this is a little larger one, and this is the 8x12. Okay. There's multiple sizes. These are all on the website. So they have 8x12. They have an 8x8, which is an excellent size. They have a 9x9 for those of you with like Dream Machines, Destinies, Stellaires, Altairs. They have a 9x9. They have a 9x14, 9.5x14. And then for the Solarises and the Luminaires, they have the 10.5x16 ones now, which I really like. It's easier for me to use the big magnetic hoop than it is to use the big hoop that comes with the machine. It's a little easier to get it in, I think, to get things in and out of it. So the dime snap hoops, if you don't have any of these are awesome. So, but what I wanted to tell you about, starting next week, at this time, can I use an 8x12 on my Altair? Yes, you can, Nancy. You can use up to a 9.5x14 on that machine. So yes, the 8x12 is one of my favorites. I use that hoop quite a bit. I like the 9.5x14 also, and I use this 5x7 a lot. And you don't have to use this like for quilting. You can just use this for regular embroidery. So like I often will just hoop a piece of stabilizer in here. Put the stabilizer, we'll just pretend this is a piece of stabilizer. I just put my stabilizer in here. I get it all lined up. And then I can continue on my embroidery. So if I have a piece of paper, let's say it's a piece of paper stabilizer, like tearaway, then I just get it in there and I just embroider just with these hoops. They're easy, especially if you have problems with your hands for hooping. And I do a lot of quilting stuff. So I do use them a lot for that because they're very, very good for that. Okay. You do want to be careful not to get your fingers in them. And you notice that when I closed it, let's put this back on here. When I closed it, I leaned it up on the side over here, and there's two little divots. I don't know if you can see them right here. There's a divot here. Okay, all the hoops are like this. Those go to the outside of the hoop, away from the thing that goes in the machine here. And then I'm just going to lay this on the side, and I'm going to kind of feel where the edge of my hoop is, and then I'm just going to drop it and let it go down. Okay. These are still okay. Jan, people ask about the pacemakers. These are not that strong. So I know that there's no warning on these on the package, but the Brother ones that have the really huge big magnets in it, those have a warning if you have a pacemaker not to use them. So these, I don't think there's a warning on them because these are not as strong as some of the other magnetic hoops. So, but they're strong enough that they really hold everything really well. So you might want to look that up. I know they have some information about that on the Dime website. So what I was going to tell you about is next week we will not have Shields Live at 2:00 because at 3:00 next Wednesday we have a Dime online event. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up for that. It's free, and it's going to be called Everyday Lace. So it's going to be about lace making in the embroidery machine. Okay, so that's going to be next week. And if you want, and these are all on our website, but if you want a little special deal, if you're looking to get some hoops and you'd like a little special deal, if you sign up for that event, all of the hoops will be on sale. So all of the dime products, including the hoops, will be on sale on that event next week. And so that's a good time if you got a couple of hoops you want to save yourself about 20%. Okay. So go ahead and get signed up for the event. You can sign up for it. I sent out an email. I'll send out one more probably yet this week. And then you can go to the inspiredbydime.com. Nancy, go to inspiredbydime.com. And there's a calendar there, and it'll have all the days, and it's next Wednesday, which is the 11th. So you can just go down to the 11th, click on the link, and it'll take you right where you signed up. Okay. And if you have a question about it, I will write that in. I'll write that into the to this video. So I'll write it in also, so you know where to go. Okay. And I also have an event on our Facebook page. All right. So that is a good way. So next week, that's what's going to happen instead of Shields Live. It's at 3:00 though. Will the snap hoop work on my brother Novus? You have Pat, you have a 28. What do you have? You have one of the smaller machines, the 5x7. The 5x7 machine, right? Yes, they do have one hoop that will work with yours, and it is a 5x7 hoop, but it has a different base on it. Okay, so there's one specific for your machine, and they will most likely have it on the sale next week. So there's only one that would work on yours, and it's got a different base on it. Okay, because your machine has a different snapping or like a connection than this one. Okay, yes, so they do have one that will work with yours. Because what is yours? 2750? Is that what it is? 2750D? Okay, so that was one of my favorite things. The dime snap hoops. Love those. All right. So this was what Tim wanted. This was Tim's favorite thing. So this is one of my favorite things as well. And what this is the Martelli roundabout. And the Martelli roundabout is also on the website. And it comes in 3 pieces. So the base piece is like a lazy Susan. So it rotates. Now I've seen lots of rotating mats. This rotates so smoothly. Some of them are like jerk, 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 jerk. You can't do anything. Okay. I love these. And they also make a smaller one that I haven't been able to get a hold of yet. I really like the small one too. But so that you got a lazy Susan part. Okay. This one's about, was about 18 inches in diameter. It's really nice size. And then you get, this is the cutting mat. So this, and it's got like a nice rubber coating on it so that it won't slip when you go to use it. Okay, so here's our actual cutting mat, and see how nicely it rotates. Okay, Martelli roundabout. And then if you need to do some ironing, sometimes when you iron, you need to be able to rotate. And you can put this nice ironing mat on top, and it comes with that as well. So all 3 pieces of this come together. The Martelli roundabout, and that is up on the website. This is like one of my favorite tools. Hi, Terry. So this one is, I can't remember how much it is. Let me look. $129.99 for the whole set. You get all 3 pieces for that. Okay, so you get the base. You have that. This is like one of my favorite tools. I use it all the time. Okay, so that's the roundabout. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way because I wanted to show you something else that's like one of my favorite things. How many people have a scan and cut? Yes, you can get a wool mat, Lynn, and though I can't get those, but you can get them from Martelli. I know, isn't that roundabout? It's like the best thing. Okay, so this is another one of my newer favorite things. And I use this a lot for my scan and cut, but it's also for cutting. How many people have a trouble seeing, where you're, like where I sew now, especially at my dad's, it's very dark. And this is so wonderful because it's a light pad, okay? And I can turn it on. It's LED. So it's very bright, and it's one of the kind of white natural light on it. This is the smaller one, so I have two sizes. I'll show them to you. I just got the small one out, so I didn't because I didn't have that much room. But what I really like about it, so this is just the regular surface. So sometimes I use it this way, but I really like they have translucent cutting mats. So I can lay this translucent cutting mat over the top. I can actually use my rotary cutter on it. So let's say we're cutting and you can't see where, like if it's a dark fabric, sometimes I'll put it on here so I can see where I'm going. My little one like this, I like to use with my scan and cut, and I leave the mat on top of it all the time because it keeps me from scratching this surface here. And I can just see I get light from the underneath, and I just love that translucent mat. So this is the one that's like 9 by 12. Let me get the little box here. I got it sitting here. This one is, I'm sorry, 8 by 11. So it's about the size of a sheet of paper. Okay, so this is a really nice one. This is the one I like to put in my scan and cut bag and carry with me because it's smaller. Okay, and then you just touch the little button over here and it turns off. And you can use, it has a plug. You can actually plug it into a, this one's not battery operated. This one you do plug in, but you can plug it into your computer to run it. I just have it in one of those little plugs up here, you know, one of the little boxes that you have to put like your phones and stuff in. You can see it over there. Okay. But this one is, yeah, LED light pad, and it comes with a cutting mat too. So you get the mat and the light pad. And this one is 8 by 11, and this one is $69.99. Okay. So that one, but then they make a bigger one. I love the big one. Light box is great for tracing. Yes. So you can trace the appliques with it. I do a lot of, yeah, Lynn makes a lot of cards. I just like it because there's light from underneath. And so when I'm working on things where I'm looking, there's lots of light, because I've noticed as I've gotten older, I need more light. So I really love this light from underneath. And then they have a larger one, and this is the one I use most of the time, but I leave it at home. I like the little one for carrying with me. This one's 11 by 17, and it also comes with the mat. And this one is $99.99, and this one's up on the website too. I just love these, and I didn't realize how dark it was where I worked all the time. And I just turn this on just for light. Like I'll be working at my scan and cut, and I just turn this on next to me for extra light, because it just brings light up from like basically my table. And it really, really helps. So this, and then they do make a nice bag for the large one. So if you need to carry it, they have a nice little bag. I got that on the website too, to carry it in. And then this one is so small, I usually just, put it in my scan and cut, in the pocket of my scan and cut bag, and carry it with me because it's not very big. So that's another one of my favorite things. My nifty notions. Can you buy the mat by itself? Yes. So if you need the mat to be replaced, yes, you can just get the mats. I don't have the mats on the website, Pam, but I can order it for you, because I can just get the mats by themselves. Yes. So if your mat needs to be replaced, yes, I can replace the mats. Okay, and they have the one for the big one and one for the small one. So, okay. Oh, my Ring doorbell just went off. Sorry, guys. Somebody's at my front door, it says. Okay, so we got our light pads. So I'll turn this off. Just hit the little button and it turns off. All right. But those are all up on the website. So these are the Nifty Notions light pads. And, so let's continue on with Nifty Notions a little bit. The other thing that I never realized why I needed one of these is one of these wool pressing mats. And I really like this 14 by 14 one, because, you know, I set this next to my sewing machine. So if you see me do Sew Along with Jan, you see this little mat sitting to the left of my sewing machine. And what's so cool about it, it's just the right size to set on that little piece of wood just to the left of my sewing machine. And I love that. But when you iron on a wool pressing mat, things really iron flat. It's just, it must be the wool. I don't know the whole logistics of it. But this is the 14 by 14. And these are on the website also. I think they're $36.99. And they make bigger ones. I just usually carry this 14 by 14 just because it's such a nice handy size. You can take it with you. And I just like it because I lay it next to my machine, and I always have an ironing pad then right next to my sewing machine. Because what I use this pad for so often is one of my very favorite things. Since we're doing nifty notions, we'll do another thing. My very favorite things is this little mini iron. And like a lot of, you know that I do a lot of applique. Okay. Oh, I know, aren't they? They're just great. And the Nifty Notions iron, this little mini iron, I just adore this little mini iron because, you know, I do a lot of applique and I do a lot of Kimberbell, and they use a lot of like heat transfer vinyls and stuff on their designs, and you have to heat press them, press them down to your fabrics. So what I love about this iron is small enough to even go into your 4x4 hoop. So you can just take your hoop out of your machine, set it on the little wool pressing mat, and press down on it. So here's my little iron. I brought my iron in so you can see it out of the package. These are hard to get open, so I didn't want to have to open it. So here's my little iron. And it's just so handy, and it doesn't have a lot of little holes in it. So you don't get a lot of, if you press like back here, you don't get any little divots on anything. And I love it because it will fit even in the little hoops. It's small, and you can get it in even that little 4x4 hoop without touching your hoops and, damaging your hoops and getting too much heat on them. And I use my little wool pressing mat on the left of my machine, and this is what I use on it all the time. Now, you can actually put water in this. I'm not a big fan of putting water in these little irons, so I usually don't. I use it mostly for pressing items in the hoop, and that's what I bought it for. I just love it. So that is another one of my favorite things. So this is $31.99 for the little Nifty Notions mini iron. So those are also on the website, shieldssewingcenter.com, and in the store. Okay. Oh, we got one more Nifty Notions thing. Then we're done with Nifty Notions. Okay. This is the other thing I love. I know this is going to sound funny. I make my own starch. So Jan has a little problem with starches. They make my hands itch. So I make my own starch out of vodka, 1 ounce of vodka to 8 ounces of distilled water. And I love these Nifty Notions spray mister bottles because they have a very fine mist. And you just press this and it goes and just has a very fine mist, and it's not all globby. Okay. So this is my little Nifty Notions spray bottle. I just love these bottles. They're $8.99. And I make my own starch and put it in here with my 1 ounce of vodka and my 8 ounces of distilled water. So this works really well, and it has it's easy, it's cheap to make starch, and but I needed a good bottle to put it in because some of the bottles I got were all globby. They put like a whole glob of wet in one spot, and this just mixed real nice and evenly over everything. So this is another one of my little favorite things, my Nifty Notions Misty bottle. Okay, so we got all the Nifty Notions things done. Let's see what's next. How about we talk about, we were started with Martelli. We did the roundabout. Let's do the other Martelli stuff. So my very favorite rotary cutters. 1 ounce for you, 1 ounce for the bottle. No, I don't like vodka, so I don't drink it. I just use it for starch, Anna. Okay, so these are my favorite rotary cutters. I do a lot of cutting, and cutting is hard on your hands with rotary cutters that you have to turn your hand like this, and you get a lot of pain in your wrist and stuff. Okay, these rotary cutters, and I got mine open so you can see them. They have right and left-handed. I'm left-handed, so the blue one's mine. Okay, and what's nice about these is you hold it like this, and you cut with your hand flat like this. And it's much better on your elbows, your wrists. And I do a lot of cutting. And I mean, it's almost hard for me now to pick up a standard rotary cutter. I haven't used one for years. These are so good to use. Okay. So this is the left-handed rotary cutter. This is a 45 millimeter rotary cutter. They have right-handed ones. Also, this is the 45 and the right-handed. So you're going to hold it this way in your right hand. Okay. All right. And then they also have a 60 millimeter. And these are all up on the website. Now it's harder for me to get the 60 left-handed one, but I've got the 60 right-handed one up on the website. So here's the right-handed one. Okay. And you can see the blades are bigger. And this one, I think this one needs a blade. Yeah, this one, I need to put a blade in this one. This is the one I had to replace the blade and I haven't done it. The blades stay sharp. Yes, they do. So that's the next favorite thing. So these are the cutters. Oh, and by the way, they are very sharp because I think I told you last week, I tried to take my finger off with the rotary cutter. Well, these are the blades. So these blades are very sharp. I took off almost the whole tip of my finger last week. So I won't show it to you. It's still a little gnarly looking. So, but this is the 60 millimeter blades. These are up on the website. Okay. These are the 60s and these are the 45s. So the 45s, two of them are $10.99 and two of the 60s are $13.99. And these are, how much are they? The blade, the rotary cutters. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. The 60 millimeter ones are $29.99 and the 45s are $24.99. And these are up on the website as well. Yes, Judy also cut herself very sharp, she says. So, yeah, so, but I love these rotary cutters. If you have problems with your hands, and I'm not going to lie, it'll take you a little bit of time to get used to holding these because they feel a little different at very first. But, I'm at the point I can't even pick up a regular rotary cutter. This is the only thing I have. I have these rotary cutters all over the place. But yeah, these are 25. They're no more than any other rotary cutter. I mean, rotary cutters aren't cheap. And then the 60 is $29.99. Okay, so those are also up on ShieldSewingCenter.com. And the blades are up there. Okay. Any other questions about the rotary cutters? Aren't those awesome? I just love these. And you just kind of flick this little thing up here. It exposes the blade, and then you just flick it down. And they're small enough, like the 45s are small enough that all I have to do is just take my finger and flick it up and down. So they work really well. All right. And we sell a lot of left-handed rotary cutters because we have a lot of left-handed people. I mean, sometimes I'll have a whole class for all left-handed. Okay, so there's those. All right, let's see. What else we got to see? Oh, okay. So I have been using, make sure I didn't miss anything on the floor here. I don't think so. Okay. I have been using for years and years. After you cut yourself with them once, you learn to keep your fingers out of the way. Yes, you do. Although, Sharon, I am just kind of dangerous with a rotary cutter. And so I have cut myself multiple times with rotary cutters. I don't know why I'm so dangerous with them, but I am. Okay. So I, for many years, have been using the Brother thread. And I for years and years and years, Brother only had 60 colors of thread. So, we also have Floriani, which is a lovely thread. But about 2 years ago, Brother came out with more thread. And now they have 314 colors of thread, which are all up on our website. All 314 colors are up on the website. But I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite sets. So if you want to start with some colors of Brother thread, they call it Pacesetter Pro now. I brought a couple of my favorite sets. So this is like my very favorite, if you just want to kind of get started with a few colors to see how it goes. This little set is 24 spools. And it's like basically all the colors for the basic Disney characters in the machine. And it's like white, black, orange, pink, blue, it's all the kind of basic colors. And I got this, I kind of went back to when I got my Luminaire, we got a set of thread, and it was this set that we got. And I just love, I started using it, really using it. And I thought, gosh. So then the next year they came out with all those other colors, like 200 more colors. So now I can even photo stitch with it, which I just love. So I've gone back to this. It's very strong. It doesn't break. It's quite lovely. It's shiny, not quite as shiny as the Floriani, but still has a very nice sheen. And I just really love the thread. I mean, I've kind of basically, this is about all I use now is the Brother Pacesetter Pro thread. So this is the little Disney set. This is like one of my favorite sets, and it's $129.99. This is up on the website, and it's got 24 spools of thread in it. And you get also a coupon for Embroidery, so you can get some more Disney characters if you want to. So they give you a $15 gift card too for that. So that's one of my favorite sets. But if you want to kind of go whole hog, this is the one I'd probably tell you if you're, you just kind of want to get started with a good set of thread. This is, I'm going to turn this up. Turn the camera up here. I'm just going to tip it up here. This is the set of 63, well, it's 63 colors. They add a few like flesh tones down here, but this is the original 60 colors. So for the most part, every design in the machine comes up in these 60 colors. Okay, so this is the original 60 colors that Brother had. And this is such a good set to start with. If you're wanting to get started with Brother, this is a really great set. So this one is $249.99. There's also a larger set that's 110 colors that's up on the website. And this one comes with one wall rack too. So it comes with this white wall rack. And then the bigger set that's 110 colors comes with 2 wall racks. Okay. So those are both up on the website. But if you just need a good set to get going and you want to try the Brothers and you just, if you just want to try a few colors, this is a wonderful set to get. Okay. And then if you just kind of want all your basic colors to get going, this is the set that I'd recommend to you. And this one's 63 colors. So this was the original colors. And like I said, I pretty much have gone back to Brother thread. I just really like it. And we've had it for years and years. And I've been using it ever since I had an embroidery machine. Because right after I got my machine, they came out with all of their standard kind of like mini king cones. And I've always had that set ever since then. So this is my one of my favorite sets. Okay, so I think I have, let's see, one more thing. I think I've got everything else. Is there any questions on anything? Is everybody understanding everything? I think I got everything else off the floor. Yep, okay. So I wanted to show you one of my favorite things. So next week, like I said, next week we won't have Shields Live, but we will have a dime event. And so one of my other favorite things is the Dime Perfect Embroidery Pro software. Okay. So this software is another one of my favorite things. It will be on sale on the Dime event. And they will also be showing the lace software on the Dime event. And that will also be on sale. They'll have all kinds of cool stuff, but they will have the software also on sale. So for those of you who are interested in some software, but you're not sure, the software usually runs around $17.99. Okay. But if you're not sure yet, if software is for you, I would highly recommend, and I'll put this in the post a little later, that you can try this software out with a free version of this called Embroidery Toolshed, and it's free from inspiredbydime.com. You go there and you can get that trial software for free. The free version is you can save in it. So what's nice about it is you can do quite a bit of editing in it. And you can save, you can make templates, you can print templates of your designs out of it. So that's why I wanted to show you, this is the full version of the software. This is the full digitizing software. And it's so user-friendly and so easy. I just wanted to talk about that. And so when they talk about stuff next week in the event, so I hope you all come because it's very fun. They will talk about mostly the lace software because it's a lace event, but they will also have Perfect Embroidery Pro on sale. So that's a good time if you're interested in software. But in the meantime, go pick up the, go pick up the free version of it. Just try it out. I have a bunch of people that don't have software and they want to be able to resize and maybe print a template or maybe do just a small amount of editing or like combine some things. You can do that in the free software called Embroidery Tool Shed. And that's from inspiredbydime.com. So I'll write that in the post a little later so that you know where you can, I'll get you the link so you can go get it. They also have a nice manual so you can learn how to use it. It's very fun software. And I teach classes every month. We have classes on the digitizing software on the Perfect Embroidery Pro. So, and that's one of my favorite classes to teach is software because I love to digitize. It's very relaxing to me. So I don't get to do that very much. So it's always been one of my favorite things. Yes. So I also have, Lynn says Jan has YouTube videos. So yes, I have a whole bunch of YouTube videos from the last several years of Perfect Embroidery Pro classes and things that we did. So I've done, and in fact, the last class we just did was an applique class. So it was really fun. So, all right. So the next thing, I think maybe Tim's done with his customer. Are you done, Tim? Tim?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you ready to come back?
Right. Do you want me to come back?
Yeah. I just showed him some software and talked to him about the embroidery event next week.
Are we taking orders?
I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to switch it back over to the other camera so you can talk to him.
They don't want to talk to me.
They don't want to talk to you? Yes, they do. They always want to talk to you. Everybody calls. Where's Tim?
Where's Tim?
Where's Tim? I want to talk to Tim. Here he
Hey, I'm
is.
back. Again, I was kind of got busy. I got to watch a little bit of it. So hope you enjoyed our favorite tools and little gadgets that we like to use around here. We're always looking for different things. So if there's something that you guys want to see us carry, please let me know. I'll definitely consider it. Again, thanks for coming out and joining us. We will be off next week. I'm sure you mentioned it. Yep. So come join us at our Dime event. That should be fun.
And it's at 3:00.
It's at 3:00, so 1 hour later. As much as I want you to stay in and sew, get out and enjoy the weather. It's really, really nice. And hopefully we'll see you next week at the Dime event. If not, we'll be back in 2 weeks. So
yep. And we haven't decided what we're going to do yet.
It's always a surprise.
We think we know now.
We think we know, but okay. You better come back and check it out just to see for yourself. So, and I will post the information about the how to get the embroidery tool shed, the free version, and also how to get to the event. There you go.
So I'll do that on the post once I upload it to Facebook. So
come in, Lynn. Karen Buckley, scissors, please. Yeah, we hear you. I see you, Lynn. I see you. Again, thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you hopefully next week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. I hope you enjoyed my favorite things. Let me know if there's other favorite things you'd like to see. So thanks, everybody.